Here's what we're working with. I thought the last one or two that we did had very little. This has very, very little. I mean, we got the normal suspects on the sides, but they didn't even run them all the way across. They just put a couple right here and there, and that's it. Well, I think we can do better. I just wanted to show it to you because I got that off of there, and I went and got the lumber. Got phase 1 right here, but I didn't do very good on phase 2 because I put phase 2 behind phase 3. But it's easy enough to move, and it started raining really hard, so I've got my excuses. All right, let me get started on this, and we'll get going. Here's what I did. I basically went the same as they did from the factory, except that instead of 2 1-foot pieces, I put 6.5-foot pieces. And what that's going to really do to make me feel better is it's going to sturdy this up right here. And this seam right here is going to really be sturdied up. And that makes me happy. Looks nice. Looks good. They're not paying me, but people are always asking what I use. It's the undercoating, Rust-Oleum. They're not paying me. But I always use that, and I always have pretty good luck with it. So that's what I'm going to do right now. You're not going to have to sit and watch paint dry. And that's all I'm going to do today. And then tomorrow I will come out, get this thing flipped, and probably put it, after I clean this up, I can put it on here. They brought us brand new tires, real new, so that's cool. Still have to clean them up, and probably should check those bearings and get those packed while it's in this state. But it needs to be, need the power wash. I need to remove all that, get it undercoated in here, check all the welds. I kind of did a once over on the welds. Everything looks good. So let's talk tomorrow. Got everything cleaned up, sprayed down, power washed. Gonna have to paint that. I use a gloss black on that, but undercoat, everything undercoated. And I put in carriage bolts. For as little as they reinforced underneath, 25 carriage bolts. This is a 13-foot camper. That's a world record. I put back one everywhere they had one from the factory. Then you see 3 across here, 2 across here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 across there, 4 across there, 4 across there, 1, 2, 3 across there, 2, 3. Crazy. So, and it's getting hot. It's 100 in here right now. 100 in the shop. Sun's been beating down pretty good. So, what I'm going to do is, at the minimum, I'm going to put down the vinyl so that it can just sit in here and bake all night and be ready to go in the morning. If I'm still feeling good, I'm going to take these wheels off and pack the wheel bearings. I think that's what I'll do. It's warm. It's a warm one. All right, I wanted to bring you up to speed, and I'll get going on this. I'll show you when I'm done. Drink it in. I like this. I've always liked this a lot. I went darker than I anticipated, but only because, and this is where we're going to have a discussion. I'm not so sure I'm going to amber shellac these walls. I don't know. It's just Scotsman. That implies Scottish. That implies, dare I say, a little bit of paint. Not a lot of paint. Just some touches here and there. Because here's those seats. I really like this green, but I'm going to go darker, a little darker. And this is a little darker, so that's okay. I like that. So I'm thinking that my cabinets will be a hunter green to match those. Well, when they will become hunter green. I don't know, that's more of a forest green, I think. I don't know. So I may even use a stain. I may use a darker pecan stain, which should be nice with that part of this. I don't know yet. I'm going to make that decision tomorrow because it's still hotter. And you know what here? And I got to rub those wrinkles down. I'm going to work on these wheel. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. Bearings. I'm going to check these bearings and see where I'm at there. Then we will move along. Wow, that was terrible. I'm sorry for this episode. It's hot. I'm wore out, but I'm just here bringing it to you because you're my people. Let me shut this off before I embarrass myself, and I'll probably show you something tomorrow after I have refreshed myself. And refresh myself, I have. So, you know what we're doing here. We're making walls. I'm not going to show you cutting it out and everything, but I just think that this looks cool. And that window is so close up there. I don't know if I won't move it back. We'll see. That little orca there, whatever you want to call it. But we're ready to go. This is a pretty tall one, too. Because, look, we don't have hardly anything left over. Well, I mean, it's a lot. But, I mean, you're going to have to be careful making cabinet doors out of that left over. But here we are. I'm going to cut that down. Well, trace it out and cut it down. And now that I'm somewhat refreshed, I'll get back with you. There's the side walls. Doubled up, of course. Obviously, the front. The rear and the middle is, of course, in the middle. So I got those cut out, sanded them down a little bit, tried to smooth them out before I install them and have to smooth them out again. And made the back panel, the bottom back panel. Then I made the front bottom panel, which is very tricky because there's only going to be one coming up to there. And so I think I have measured it properly. I did not go with that gigantic window that we had discussed. It was broken anyway, but it's just too dang big. I'm not a big window guy. I've got this jalousie, this very small jalousie, that we're going to put as our front window. Probably have Chris Abbey make us a nice rock guard for it. And of course, I still have yet to check the side windows. From what I remember, I think, oh, nice camera work. Glad you stopped by. These guys right here. Let me back out and give you a shot. Those jalousies. So I think they work, but there's so much paint on them. It's gonna be a hassle. But if I can use all four of those, that'd be great. If not, I've got some alternatives. I'm trying to stay with jalousie. This kitchen, if you remember this kitchen jalousie, has that frosted glass in it. That's a no-go with me. You're in the kitchen, you want to look out. So I've got one that's a little bit different shape than that, but it'll be really cool. So, and then rear window, I did not go with jalousie just for the leakage factor. Probably shouldn't be a problem, but I did have this guy laying around. Works great. It's got all the seals still intact, so that'll go in the back window. So I think I've got my windows covered. The next tricky part is to build this guy right here. Now I think I can do a full 1x4-ish like this to start here. But then what I noticed from the factory, they used small ones. So I will probably cut these down into thirds, and they'll probably just be like 1.1/8 wide. And they put one about every 6 inches all the way around the bend. So we're gonna do that as well. And hopefully we can make our Luan do that. Looks good, doesn't it? It's gonna look really good with whatever I choose to put on it. I still have not talked myself out of amber shellac, but I'm just thinking dark. Not real dark, but darker. Just darker. Something different. Something different. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. This should be going home next weekend. We've had a delay from the big box store on our Wilson art, but we have got another one chosen. We're going to get that one put in, and that baby's going home to Texas. All right. I wanted to let you know where I'm at. That's where it's at. Rob, what are you doing? What is going on? Are you okay? Blink 3 times if you're being made to stain against your will. I know what you're thinking. And you have every right to say something. And I should explain myself. I should explain myself. You know, I'm the amber shellac man. But we didn't go that direction on this. That's the ceiling, and it's going to look different from the wall, and I'm going to do the walls next. But think of this with this. Now, this isn't a giant departure from amber shellac, but it is. But it looks good. I like what it's doing as it's drying. And let me explain myself. I did this because of that. I had to make a bold choice. Everybody always says, Rob, you do the same thing. Well, I don't do much of that, but I am now. Yes, I do this. I don't do much of that. But because of that, I'm gonna do that. And I'm gonna paint the cabinets, I think. Minimum, I'm painting the cabinet doors. A dark green to match the fabric that's going on there. I haven't seen it 100% in my brain yet, but that is the working program. All right, here's what I'm using. Little stain and poly satin antique walnut. Okay, don't call the authorities. I do not need a welfare check. I'm trying something. I'm getting out of my comfort zone. Let's see. A little different flavor. It's still drying, but a little different flavor on this plywood that we always use. It's starting to come out, I don't want to say reddish because it's not really, but I think that this will, well, that's covering it, but this is going to be a really nice match with the dark green that I have for the dinette seating, and it's really bringing this grain out too. That's one of the good things about using something a little bit darker than you usually use. You're going to see a lot of this, and that's kind of what I wanted. Just doing something a little bit different. Get out of my comfort zone. That's what I needed. You know, I was just feeling tired and wore out, and I'm like, you know what? Do something different. Give it a shot. Shake things up. Well, that's not the craziest thing I've ever done, but it makes me feel pretty out of the box. There we go. It's really taking that on good. Especially you can kind of see that one right there. It's gonna dry out a little more, soak in a little more. It's gonna be nice. I like how it does that to that. So HR has called a lid on the day. Bless him. Extra treats for my boy. And that's enough for today.